to live a fuck yes life, you have to be committed to your authenticity. And that's not as simple as it might sound. It's not as, it's just being real. No, it's actually deeply, truly, and intimately understanding the complexities of your self-concept, your self-identity. What do you really desire for your life? What's the burning, pull that your heart is guiding you towards? Even if it starts as just a curiosity, but you're so curious about it, there's a desire in that curiosity. What is that? Here, let's frame it like this. Let me just bring out the little bitch in me. Be realistic. That statement, that disease statement that has infected so many people and has buried their fucking dreams and their genius. Yeah, that statement. I will never, ever allow society or anybody's ideas of what my reality should be. No, I'm fucking going for it. I'm going for it. I've been going for it. And that was a decision that I made at a very young age that I'm gonna do this thing. This is the Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Welcome back to the Roxanne Show. I have the Bee Gees still playing in my head. And I wish it was playing in the backdrop, but I'm going to pretend that it is and drop you into today's episode. Today, I'm going to drop you into how you can live a fuck yes life. A fuck yes life. What is a fuck yes life? A fuck yes life, I mean, it's probably pretty explanatory, right? You feel it right away. It's that full body yes life. It's life that is self-directed. It is life where you were playing all out. You were all in on yourself. You're not leaving anything on the table. If you have the luxury of being able to look back at your life before your last breath, you look back at it with so much reverence, so much gratitude, so much fulfillment and satisfaction because you really, really fucking showed up and went all in every day to create a life that feels good, a life that fills you up. This is a fuck yes life. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to point out to live a fuck yes life is to realize that you have agency, right? You are the architect of your reality. We are often programmed in various ways as we are growing up. So it could be society, it could be family, it could be, there's influences coming at us from a multitude of directions. And a lot of these programs would have you believe that you are a victim of circumstance, that you actually don't have the agency to write your life. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the truth. It's the truth if you believe it, but I don't believe it. And I'm pretty fucking sure if you're tuning into me, even if this is your first time, if something got you to click on this episode, then you are probably someone who does believe that you do have the power to write your story, to architect your life. And even if you're teetering on the, I don't know, sometimes I feel the other way, well, stick around because I think after this episode, I'm going to get you all in on the actuality of actually having agency to write your story, to architect your reality. So how do we do that? First and foremost, and this is moving into, we'll call these principles of living a fuck yes life. You will not achieve this full out, all in, fulfilling life if you are not truly being yourself. So we'll call this principle number 1. You have to realize that your authentic self is the only fucking self that will be playing at this level where you can cultivate this fuck yes life. I mean, think about it like this. When you're not being authentic, when you are not truly living from your most authentic self, what kind of decisions are you making? Where are those decisions coming from? Are you a people pleaser? Are you playing small? Are you trying to fit in to make others like you, feel happy? Like all of that is affecting not only your decision-making process, but the relationship that you have with yourself. And the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship that you have in your life, period, hands down. So to live a fuck yes life, you have to be committed to your authenticity. And that's not as simple as it might sound. It's not as, it's just being real. No, it's actually deeply, truly, and intimately understanding the complexities of your self-concept, your self-identity. And this moves us into, principles, other principles for the fuck yes life. But one of the next principles, and one aspect that's so key and so important to really knowing your authentic self, is to know your values. What do you value? A lot of people can't answer that question. And the reason why is because it's not the simple, I value this. I value that. No, I'll tell you right now, you want to know what your values are? They're showing up in your decisions. They're showing up in your day-to-day life, because what we value, we make time for. And that could be very triggering to some people, because some people like the ideas of certain values, but they don't actually value it enough to cultivate their lives with it. Health is the easiest example. People value the idea of sustaining a very healthy life, but not enough to actually integrate it into their day-to-day life as practices, as habits, as lifestyle choices. So in that case, you don't actually value health the way you think you do. You value the idea of it. And I'm using this as an example to just point out that knowing your values actually takes some real fucking sit down work with yourself. And that work is going to help you get to know more about your authentic self. And there's so many more layers to your authentic self. But I have many more episodes on that. And I'll continue to create episodes on breaking open what your authentic self is. But just to keep us moving through the fuck yes life principles, I'll just come back to close the loop on the authentic self to say that it's not optional. To live a fuck yes life, you have to truly get to know who you truly are, and to honor your authenticity, and to move from that expression of yourself full time, full stop. So the next principle I already kind of pulled on a little bit, but it is to know your values, know your desires. So we'll group that together, right? Your desires. What are your desires? Not what you think you should desire, not what you've been told you should desire, not what you think is going to make you successful, right? What do you really desire for your life? What's the burning, pull that your heart is guiding you towards? Even if it starts as just a curiosity, but you're so curious about it, there's a desire in that curiosity. What is that? And then of course the values, but I already touched on that, but I'm grouping this together because to really know your values and to know what you desire is also going to impact how you navigate through your life, your decisions primarily. And when we get really clear on and desires are not, I just cut myself off and I'll go back there, but I want to make this statement so fucking clear. What I'm talking about, core desires, true desires, are not flimsy. They're not these emotional dopamine quick hit moments. No, it's not that. It's you have a gravitational pull towards something, right? You're really curious about something. You're drawn to it. You can't not think about it. You want to get into it, right? Like I have always had a draw and a pull towards writing. Writing has been consistently my companion my whole life. And I've allowed my curiosity to just continue to bring me to my pages. And I didn't need there's no thought about that, right? It's just like you go towards it. Music is another one. Music is like, I never had the desire to become a musician, but music is just, it pulls me. It's the backdrop to my life. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, through my story posts that it's like a music video, because I never not post music, because music is the backdrop to everything that I'm sharing with you, whether it's a quote or a reel or whatever it is, right? But there's deeper desires too, like your desire to want to live in another country. And if that's something, for me growing up, there was always this desire to want to live in Europe and just experience, what does that even feel like? And then finally in my 20s, I moved to Paris. And, that was something that, again, it wasn't flimsy, like it stuck around. It was something that was really integrated. In fact, my music really made me curious about, because so much of my music that comes from Europe, England in particular. And so I always was fascinated with the lifestyle over there, and Paris as well. And then eventually I moved to Paris. So the idea here is that not only is it that you want to know these aspects of yourself, but they serve as like they're part of your heart map, right? Your soul's GPS. That's what I call it. And they're meant to guide you on your authentic path, right? Your authentic journey. Because so often people are adopting others' ideas of what their values should be, what their, where they should be channeling their attention, their energy. And I'm not saying that we can't have counsel and people that might spark ideas or, inspiration in some way. Of course, we all want that and hopefully have that. However, if you don't know these very important pieces so deeply and truly that come from your own self, first of all, you don't know your own self as much. Second of all, it's very easy to steer off your authentic path and to put yourself on the path of, what others have prescribed to you, essentially. And society has done that, right? Like there's a lot of templates around what success looks like and how we get to these, their idea, whoever they are, of success. And it's really easy to fall into that trap if you don't know all these pieces about yourself that I'm, talking about here. So it's essential. So know your values, do that deep work, and what are your true desires. Next principle, you got to have courage. I'm not talking about, stunt man, jumping off a cliff, motorbike. I mean, that's cool if you got that too. I'm talking about having the courage to fucking trust yourself. I'm talking about having the courage to go all in on yourself against all odds. I'm talking about having the courage to stand in your truth, irrespective of who you might let down, who doesn't believe in, what you're believing in and your pursuit and your desire. You have to have courage to stay true to yourself. Another non-negotiable, because I promise you that to truly live a fuck yes life, to go all out, you will need outstanding levels of courage. You will be tested. You will get your ass fucking kicked by life. It's just it's par for the course. And that's okay. Let's not be afraid of that. Let's honor the battle as we desire the victory, because it's a package fucking deal, right? So your courage is going to allow you to navigate your life and make these full body fuck yes decisions. Without courage, you're going to back down all the time. You're going to play small. So it's a non-negotiable, and it is absolutely a principle in cultivating, architecting a fuck yes life. Next, kind of touched on this, but this needs to be its own principle. You have to trust your intuition. Now, look, that's not easy for a lot of reasons. I'm going to say something not usually a part of the intuition conversation. I'm going to say it. I know it firsthand from my own life, but I've also seen it and experienced it in my mentorship with other women and also just in my personal life. The more that you operate in full body health, the stronger your intuitive sense and your connection to your intuition will become. It's actually really simple. It's actually not that spiritual, to be honest. Our bodies and our psychology, they go together, right? Like it's a holistic experience. We are not separate from top to bottom, right? So my mind is affecting my body is affecting my mind. And you got to think that if you are suboptimal in health, you are living in, and what I'm talking about is by choice. Okay. Because I'm not saying that it's all this, and I'll get to that, but I'm saying if you're someone who's choosing to live a lifestyle that's not conducive to strong vitality, I'm talking to fucking you. Because this right here will make such a difference. Your mind is not going to work as great when it is carrying the burden of a heavy toxic load. Period. It just won't. If you're someone who has, some kind of ailment, that's not because, you're choosing a lifestyle that doesn't allow you to be healthy. First of all, I'm holding your heart right now, and not out of a victim with victim energy at all, with fucking love energy. But that's different, because a lot of times individuals who have some kind of ailment that they're really working through, and they have such a fucking strong spirit that they are tapped into their intuition. And that's the whole point, is that we need strong spirit to be able to feel our intuition strong. So if you are choosing a lifestyle that lowers your spirit, and yes, your food affects that, your sleep affects that, all your fucking choices are affecting that. What you're listening to, the kind of friends you have, if there's negativity, it's like, it's your aura, it's your spirit. It's going to affect your ability to hear your intuition, and certainly to trust your intuition, And so let's just say, now I'll speak to, you have your intuition, it's strong, you feel it. Going back to this main principle, trusting your intuition is not an option. However, sometimes to trust your intuition, you have to go against it to realize, don't do that anymore. And that's okay. That's part of the human experience. It's part of how we learn. Sometimes we have to do the thing, like touch the fire, to know, oh, no, don't do that next time. That is not wrong. It's only becomes interesting when you have the information, but you continue to do the thing that's not allowing you to create the experience that you ultimately want to create, right? But that's a different episode, right? So to trust your intuition, it's so important, because we want to realize, so here I'm going to give you my framework around your heart space. Your heart, from my perspective, is the gateway to your soul self, higher self, spirit self, right? Kind of call it all this one thing. And our intuition speaks through our heart, right? Intuition and authenticity, your heart, authenticity, all together, right? The heart is, the heart. God, I love the heart. The heart doesn't small talk. The heart only real talks. There are no shoulds that live in the heart. It's a yes or a fucking no. And so when we think about our intuition and how it comes through our heart space. And what is our intuition? It's higher wisdom that our rational reasoning and logic mind cannot register, cannot make sense of. This information is coming from our higher self, our soul self, our spirit self. This is really important information and guidance that we are gaining from higher aspects of ourselves. We really want to be able to take that in, and we want to be able to trust ourselves to be able to move from that beat, because there are certain moves that you're designed to take in your life that will lead you on your highest path and allow you to thrive, not only out here, but inside, places that you take yourself internally that allow you to understand yourself more, to love yourself more, to learn yourself more, to trust yourself more, right? I always say everything comes back to self. Everything that we're experiencing with our partners, with our work, with our life. It's all so we can ultimately just understand more about who we are. Your intuition is a huge player in that game. And I know it's not easy to trust your intuition all the time, because sometimes you can't even discern if it's an intuition. Intuition is a felt experience, and it's not something that comes in and makes you feel nervous. It's really like a whispered wisdom, and it's very stoic, and you just know it. Your rational mind might want to fucking get in there like right after something comes through, and how, why, and all the things. But intuition is fucking unshakable. And the more that you start to trust yourself and move from that beat, the more that you flex that muscle, and the easier it just becomes. Like in my world, there is no not trusting my intuition. I trust my intuition above everything. Everything and everyone. And here's the cool part about that too, is that I'm not saying it lands me in all these amazing places all the time, but I am saying that moving from that beat every single time feels so good, because it's, first of all, me trusting myself. Second of all, it's authentic. It's not me, oh, I listened to her or I listened to him. No, I listen to me. So whatever that decision is, and whatever the outcome is too, I can stand in it because it was my own. It was true. This is living a self-directed life, and self-directed life and living a fuck yes life, married couples, right? They're really woven into each other. So to trust your intuition is essential for you to cultivate a fuck yes life. Next, this one. Set audacious goals. Like radical, outrageous goals. Here's the interesting thing. Most people wouldn't dare, because the rational mind, the programs, all of that stuff has totally got them believing that in this, here, let's frame it like this. Oh, let me just bring out the little bitch in me. Be realistic. That statement, that disease statement that has infected so many people and has buried their fucking dreams and their genius. Yeah, that statement. Look, I'm not saying don't have your feet on the ground. Okay. I'm pretty sure that my feet are firmly on the ground, and I know how to navigate in this society as a human and, live in this 3-dimensional reality pretty well, actually, with others. But I will never, ever allow society or anybody's ideas of what my reality should be. No, I'm fucking going for it. I'm going for it. I've been going for it. And that was a decision that I made at a very young age, that I'm gonna do this thing called my life all out. I deserve to experience the fullness of it, the richness of it. Like I said at the start of this episode, I don't want to leave anything on the table. I want to know that I wrung out all of myself and I went for it. You know, it's that quote that I'm going to totally chop, but you know, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you land on the stars kind of thing. I might have reversed it, but anyhow, it's that same thing. It's like the saddest part is that most people won't even allow themselves to think big. That's the fucked up part. So it's actually a small pool of people that truly allow themselves to think big. And yes, thinking big requires big action, requires these principles that I'm sharing with you. You have agency, authenticity is requirement, know your values, know your desires. Courage is a must. Trust your fucking intuition. Like all of that is important, especially to take these bigger actions. But you know, where are we driving ourselves, right? Like what's the big vision? So I am totally inviting you right now to think about, how big are you thinking or not? And are you limiting yourself? Probably. We all do it. And by the way, I have done this. And oh my gosh, it's so fun when you do the work. I turned to writing for this, and this is how I mentor women with self-directed writing. And you uncover, oh shit, I was playing smaller there. Or, oh shit, I had a limiting belief there. Or, wow, wait, why is that number that I'm manifesting so low? Why? I'm telling you right now, I would bet money that almost every one of you listening or watching to this is truly not thinking as big, visualizing as big for your life as you actually could. And of course, again, big thinking is not, don't just think about it. Yeah. That's the part though, that a lot of people, it's the big thinking. Then what are you going to do about it? Right. So some people don't even want to put themselves in that position because it's like an automatic letdown. Well, how am I going to do that? Yeah, that sounds good, but how? Well, that's the fucking journey. And that's the part. And that's the unfolding. If the how will stop so many people from actually creating a fuck yes life before they even tried. Don't get submitted by the how. Go for it. Because even if you fail, you have to learn a lot of lessons that maybe probably don't feel good along the way. I can promise you that it feels so much better to be living a life that is truly yours, that's directed from your heart, that's not limited in your beliefs. And even if you're taking some punches and you're getting bruised up, but it's your life. It's a true life. It's an honest life. That feels better 8 days a fucking week than playing small, building someone else's fucking dream, and not even trying to go for it in your own. I feel like I should stop the episode after that.
It's very good. Very good.
We're totally keeping that in. No, I'm going to roll us into the last principle, and this is so important. So important. Make sure that throughout your journey, this fuck yes life journey, that you are making time to reflect. Reflection is huge. We need to be able to get the full view, like what's happening, not just out here, but in here, internally. And this is also a good opportunity because it's a good opportunity for your growth, because sometimes in these reflective moments, oftentimes actually, this is where we get the information about what we want to change. What are we being called to change? Are we being invited to pivot? Is there something that we need to adjust, whether it's in our thinking, whether it's in our doing? We need these moments of reflection to be able to gather this information. It's vital. And I'm going to insert this because I think this is very important. Whatever you're being called in terms of changes, and I'm just going to call those changes evolution. Wherever you are being called to evolve in your life, it's so vital to trust yourself to make those moves, even if it scares the fuck out of you, even if you're not sure, what's on the other side of it. Like, there's a lot of uncertainty that you are going to have to navigate. But again, if your heart, your intuition is calling you forward to make those adjustments, those changes, those redirections, whatever it is, to evolve, you got to trust yourself. You have to gather up that courage that I talked about, and you have to go. You have to go all in. I'm telling you, there's no way to live a fuck yes life if you're not playing at this level. I know it's not an easy it's not designed to be easy, which also doesn't mean you're here to suffer. Let's do this. Let's jujitsu this really quick. A not easy life does not equate to a life of suffering. A not easy life, or having not easy moments in life, first of all, is all of our lives. Second of all, you can't, how do we create diamonds? Through pressure and fire. We will not experience our true potential, the evolution of our potential. We will not experience higher expressions of ourselves without meeting these hard moments. So we want to embrace them. We want to be okay with them. We don't want to be afraid of them. What we want to do is we want to be on our fucking team as we are moving through them. We don't want to be fighting ourselves. We don't want to make things harder on ourselves. We want to be on our team as we are facing the battles, the conflicts, the hardships, and we want to trust that every inch of the process is forging greater expressions of ourselves, is showing us where we are really needing to be on this journey of ours, where we are going to continuously thrive and, be able to express ourselves, our authentic self. I mean, that just, fuck. This is a fuck yes life, to really truly be who you are and to go all out as who you are in your life and play at this level. This produces feelings that when you go to bed at night, no matter how much you may have got your ass kicked or how big the celebration was or whatever the energy is, you go to bed and you say thank you. And you get up and you say, let's fucking do this. That's the goal. Go to bed at night saying thank you, and you get up every morning and you say, let's fucking do this. That's the fuck yes life. So if you would like some support, some mentorship from me alongside a community of badass women on this journey of architecting a fuck yes life, a self-directed life, come hang out with me in Substack. That is my favorite place. That's where you will get access to my writing. And if you become a paid member, then you get group monthly mentor calls with me. You get writing challenges. And I had to throw that in because, listen, I gave you a lot of the what and the how. Certainly is, your work, but you have the option to come and do some of that work with me through Substack. And we have a lot of fun there. So let me know what you think about this episode. I'd love to hear what you think and any of your big takeaways. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel because that actually really helps this channel grow. And leave a comment. Let me know, like, what was the big holy shit moment, if there was one, or anything that you feel called to share in the comments. You can also hit me up on Instagram at Roxy Look. I'm very active there, my DMs. I love connecting with all of you. And I would love and so deeply appreciate if you would take a moment to go into the show notes and to hit the little link where you can give this podcast a 5-star rating and review. If you're listening to the show, if it is giving you, any value in your life, your words matter not only to me and my team, but it really creates more impact for the show overall. And that just allows it to grow and let more people take in all of this fuck yes energy that I just shared with you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.